Today, we're diving headfirst into an incredibly beautiful folktale called The People Who Hugged the Trees. It's honestly a complete masterclass in courage, collective action, and environmental conservation. It takes us on this amazing journey exploring the sheer power of standing up for the very thing that keeps your community alive. Let's just get right to it. Ask yourself this: what would you do if a powerful ruler ordered the destruction of the one thing keeping your village alive? Seriously, think about that. Because this isn't some hypothetical thought experiment for the people in our story. It's a massive, terrifying reality. And honestly, grasping those stakes is absolutely crucial before we look at how they respond. Amrita and the forest. So our story kicks off in long ago India, where we meet a young girl named Amrita. She lived in this humble mud house village, resting right on the edge of a massive, unforgiving desert. You really see the stark contrast here. Imagine a brutal, dry, baking desert with camels treading across the sand right in the background. But up close, you've got Amrita carrying water, completely sheltered by this lush, sprawling forest canopy. She had this incredibly deep, personal bond with these trees. She'd run to them every single day, throw her arms around her favorite tree, and literally whisper promises to protect it. Now, the absolute key here is that these trees aren't just, pretty scenery. They are literal lifesavers. We're talking about the only shade from a totally punishing sun. Their deep roots and massive trunks act as a physical wall against howling, destructive sandstorms. And maybe the most important part, their presence actually shows the villagers where to find precious, life-giving water. Without this forest, the village simply does not exist, period. The Maharaja's demand. Fast forward a bit. Amrita has grown up. She's a mother now, taking her own kids into the forest, teaching them to hug the trees and treat them like family. But right as she's passing on this wisdom, a terrible threat rolls in. One morning, a troop of armed men with heavy axes just marches right toward the forest. The chief barks out this devastating order. See, the Maharaja, a powerful prince whose word is absolute law around there, he wants a new fortress. And to build this giant vanity project, he demands the total, complete destruction of Amrita's forest. The first tree hugger. Now, instead of just hiding in her mud house, a terrified but totally resolute Amrita runs straight into the forest. No hesitation. She intercepts the chief axeman right as he's winding up to swing at her favorite tree. It is a terrifying standoff. Imagine this. A heavy, razor-sharp axe is literally mid-swing, and Amrita, who is completely unarmed, just throws her own body right between that deadly blade and the tree trunk. Talk about a moment of pure, unadulterated bravery. We just have to pause on her dramatic plea here. Chop me instead. She hugs the tree with everything she has. But the absolute tragedy of this moment is that the axeman just ignores her. He physically shoves her out of the way and chops it down anyway, leaving Amrita kneeling in the dirt, in tears, desperately holding on to the dying branches. The village unites. Thankfully, Amrita's sacrifice doesn't end in silence. Word of what she did spreads like wildfire through the village, and it sparks this massive, unified wave of nonviolent protest. It's a real game changer for the story. The collective action here is just staggering to think about. Men, women, children, they all rush out of the village and straight into the forest. One by one, they jump in front of the blades. They hug the trees, exactly like Amrita taught them. Everywhere the cutters turn, they are met with a human shield completely blocking their axes. The whole community united as one to protect their life source. The chief threatens them, right? But the people absolutely refuse to budge. So ultimately, the axemen have to awkwardly retreat empty-handed. Which, of course, begs the big question for this explainer: how on earth is a furious, all-powerful monarch going to react to this kind of blatant defiance from one little village? Well, as you might guess, the answer is pure fury. The Maharaja slices the air with his battle sword, mounts his fastest horse, and marches straight on the village. And he is not alone. He brings a small army of soldiers alongside long-legged camels and giant elephants with jeweled tusks. The entire might of the kingdom is bearing down on them. This sets up the ultimate standoff, a total clash of values. On one side, you have the Maharaja demanding wood for a fortress, a literal symbol of power and vanity. On the other side, Amrita steps right up to speak truth to power. She calmly explains that without those trees, the baking sun, the sandstorms, and the lack of water will completely wipe them out. It's royal ambition versus fundamental human survival. The great sandstorm, but the Maharaja refuses to listen. He glares at Amrita, turns to his soldiers, and shouts, "Cut them down." The soldiers draw their swords, they start advancing, but just as the blades come out, nature itself decides to intervene. Suddenly, out of nowhere, the wind just roars in from the desert. Sand starts swirling so violently, it drives right into everyone's eyes. The sky goes completely pitch black, lightning cracks, thunder shakes the entire forest. It is hands down the worst desert sandstorm these people have ever seen. Just sheer, terrifying chaos. And this is where the ultimate irony kicks in. To survive this blinding sand, the crazy thunder, and those violent winds, what do you think the Maharaja's armed soldiers do? They drop their weapons, run, and actually shield themselves behind the very trees they were just ordered to chop down. The forest stands guard and protects everyone. It doesn't care who's holding the axe. A green place forever. Eventually, the howling wind falls silent, the dust settles, and the survivors slowly creep out of the forest to check out the damage. And the devastation is just immense. We're talking broken tree limbs scattered everywhere, grain from their crops totally littering the ground. But as the Maharaja looks toward the village, he just stares in complete awe. There are massive drifts of sand piled up everywhere, but the village, well, their only source of water, is completely untouched. The remaining trees had blocked the sand from burying it. They literally saved the village. Seeing this with his own eyes, the Maharaja has a profound change of heart. He finally gets it. He sees the undeniable truth of Amrita's words. He turns to the villagers, yields completely, and declares that from this day forward, their trees will never be cut. The forest gets to remain a green sanctuary forever. It's such a beautiful, heartwarming resolution. The villagers are overjoyed, dancing long into the night under fireworks. The kids are stringing bright paper and flowers through the branches. And, in this really touching tribute, they mark the exact spot where Amrita's special tree fell, just to make sure future generations never, ever forget the incredible courage that saved their home. Which brings us to the end of our explainer. This folktale is truly a timeless blueprint for environmental stewardship, isn't it? Amrita and her village literally risked everything, facing down axes, an entire army, and a furious ruler, all for their forest. So I want to leave you with this one final thought. Look around your own environment today. What natural resource in your world is vital enough and precious enough that it's actually worth standing up for? Think about it. Thanks so much for learning with me today, and keep exploring.